Welcome to the lunation situation. We find ourselves at the second lunation of 2024. It is the full moon in Leo, occurring at 5 degrees and 14 minutes, and it occurs at 17:53 in the evening GMT. All rituals must be done until that time, and once it is full moon, it is a time of surrender, release, flow, and ease into the energies. Full moons are all about releasing, right? And so it's great for cutting ties. It's great for completing certain projects or processes or just behavior, because full moons are about endings, are about completions, but that also means that sometimes you are, able to celebrate something. You're able to really bring in the harvest of something. So even though full moons tend to be emotional and just a lot of energy in the air, it's also a great time for fun and parties and celebrations of all kinds. So now, especially I would say in Leo, because Leo is a very fun-loving sign. It's about celebration. It represents the sun. So it's all about vitality, joy, your inner child, childlike things that you can pick up on again. It's about expression, singing, dancing, acting, or just being flamboyant with your style, being more dramatic with your feelings, with your expressions, and not being afraid to take center stage, because Leo wants to be seen, wants to be applauded, wants, I guess, that validation. It rules the heart, so it's all about love and being heart-centered, being warm as the sun, being shiny, bright, and at the center of yourself like the sun. And so yeah, what are you ready to celebrate? Or what are you ready to either complete or to really pat yourself on the back and say, it's been a process, but I've really come to a place where I'm more me, more unapologetically me, and more embracing your own style. And that's not just looking a certain way and dressing a certain way, but that's also voicing in a certain way, and to be presence, to stand in your own presence. That's all what this full moon, in an essence, is bringing to us. And for more details, we will look at the charts, because the patterns tell us the kind of energies that we're either completing or we're celebrating. So first of all, it is very clear that there is a very strong T-square. Now, a full moon is always in opposition, meaning the sun is opposite the moon. The moon is then in Leo. It means that the sun is in Aquarius. And here's, of course, the tricky part, because the sun is at also 5 degrees, of course, then, of Aquarius. But we've just had someone new enter that neighborhood, and that is Pluto, who entered Aquarius on January 21st. So here on January 25th, it's been about 4 days that Pluto is now in Aquarius. So this is very fresh energies. Now Pluto brings a lot of power with it, and it can be very destructive and disruptive. And it is about breaking open the truth. And it does that, Pluto, by digging really deep and taking out that trash and bringing it up to surface level where we can meet topics, thoughts, behaviors, subconscious patterns that were beneath the surface or were unclear or were maybe, you know, secrets or hidden stuff that Pluto will bring up in Aquarius. Now, this journey of Pluto in Aquarius lasts for now until May 2nd, when it goes retrograde and it slowly moves out of Aquarius, and then back in November 19th to stay for 20 years, not 40, that would be much. But 20 years is a long time too. And Aquarius is going to be a topic that is going to be at front, center stage. And it's interesting because it's opposite Leo, where that center stageness is very present, right? So in astrology, it has a lot of advantages to look at it like there are only 6 signs, or how should I say, 6 main archetypes, sort of, because it works in opposites, right? Since we live currently in a dualistic reality, it's kind of interesting also from that point. So if you want to really understand Aquarius, it is very important to take the opposite side, which is Leo, where this full moon is occurring. So there's a mixture of these both energies and elements in this storyline, and this means also in the storyline of Pluto. Now anyway, the Sun and Pluto being this close and opposite this lunation is going to be, I guess, the first big kickoff of that Plutonic energy. And the Sun being there, it's going to shine very brightly on the unseen, the ugly, the tough to swallow kind of things. And I mean situations, psychological processes. You understand, right? It's not just things. It's very deep. But during this lunation, there is going to come some clarity. There's going to be a lot of light on the dark. And that might be intense, okay? Since the moon represents emotions, it's likely to also be intense emotionally. I always say ultimately Pluto is about empowerment. So in Aquarius, it is in a way sort of expanding on that Leo energy, where the Aquarius energy here, especially with Pluto, is a strong force to stand in your authenticity, to stand in your unique light, your unique presence, your unique sparkle, and to really embrace your own unique way of being, your own light, your importance. Let me say that again. That didn't come out right. Your importance in this world is something that Pluto wants you to stand strongly in. And this lunation, again, is the kickstart, the kick-off of this powerful energy of being that present, being that presence of you, being unique, being weird, being unapologetically you in all your colors, in all your darkness and light. It's like a more fuller spectrum, more colors. Perhaps in a way more fierce than Leo energy, which we usually see as a very fierce energy. It's a very bold. It's very extravagant. It likes to put itself out there. Maybe Aquarius is more toned with that energy in a way. It's not maybe as showy as Leo is, but because it's about the unique self, the individual essence, and not caring, that's the difference maybe between Leo and Aquarius. Whereas Aquarius really does not care anymore. As I said, it's kind of, don't be upset Leos, but kind of the evolved Leo maybe. Where it doesn't care about other people's validation, other people's applause, but it's still like Leo, very expressive, very, you know, standing in its truth and being bold in maybe slightly toned way, but at least it's, if that's you. Maybe you're not toned. Maybe you are that Leo, flamboyant, extravagant, shiny presence, as you should be. And Aquarius just brings in that, I don't give a what other people think. And I'm just going to be me. And that is the contribution to this world. So Pluto is really bringing in that power. And it's empowerment, right? So as the sun with Pluto there, you know, this powerful force shining the light on the moon, which is being reflected back to us. You see why it's intertwined, right? Why it's so relevant, both of these energies. And in a way, maybe because of that whole, you know, shining its light, being reflected back, it's like a magnification of this energy, right? And so naturally full moons are in opposition, which means also a little bit of conflict, right? It's sort of the same story, but it's just different ways of approaching something, I suppose. Maybe different intentions, but it's sort of like there's a thin red line connecting always two opposite signs in astrology. So because it's an opposition, anytime something squares the moon, it means it's a T-square. It means that there's an intensification of an energy. And usually because it's squared, it's conflictuous or difficult or, you know, strenuous, really testing your limits. And trying to force, especially with Pluto, trying to force you into a different way, different direction, different thoughts, different behaviors, okay? And this is caused by Jupiter in Taurus. And it's a pretty tight T-square. They're very close together. This means, you know, Jupiter is an interesting planet. It is a gas giant. It is huge, okay? And astronomy is slowly sort of catching up on this idea that because it's a huge gas giant, it tends to suck in elements around it. And especially because right around that, there's the asteroid belt, you know, flying rocks everywhere. And it is sort of thought now by astronomy that maybe if it wasn't for Jupiter, all the other planets, the personal planets, so the planets, planet Earth and all around, which means Mercury, Mars, Venus, are protected by this Jupiter who sucks in that loose debris that's flying around. This is why Jupiter is called also, you know, the beneficent, the protector, you know, fortunate, sort of looking out for you, can bring in luck. But because it's also a giant gas place, it also kind of tends to exaggerate things, make it bigger, and it can be good or bad. But it can overblow a situation as well. And, you know, there is a tendency with Pluto to be explosive as well. So, Pluto square Jupiter in Taurus, it could be earthquake energy. It could be explosive in all kinds of ways. Especially because Pluto has just, here with this lunation, entered Aquarius since 4 days. So it's very fresh. And we all know this astrology theory that once a heavy hitter like Pluto enters a new sign, it comes with a bang. It makes itself known. And in 2008, that was the housing crash. That was the economy crashing, you know, starting in the United States. So, because it was in Capricorn, which is again that dualistic tendency, also in astrology, that on the opposite side of Capricorn we have the crab, which is about housing, which is about family, units, but also roots, and, you know, a sense of home, a sense of comfort, warmth. And then Capricorn is about the bigger side of that, you know, systematics. And it just blew it all apart, right? And I guess since then, housing has not been the same. It's like, in that sense, the prices have exploded too. I don't think it has ever been this expensive to have a roof over your head. I'm not saying that Pluto caused it. I think it's just showing us some of the darker aspects of systems such as capitalism, economy, also many other things like politics, military, you know, leaders, systems of all kinds, could even be mafia, I suppose, especially with Pluto having traveled in Capricorn. That story is not over yet, because in 2024, this whole year, we're going to still have that battle of Pluto going back into Capricorn and then again into Aquarius. So even though with this lunation it is just in Aquarius, the battle of the big systematic breakdowns is not over yet. But during this lunation, a new story starts. And it is likely, highly likely, that it comes with a bang like in 2008. Then it was Capricorn. These are different topics. This is Aquarius. This is about groups. This is about large number of people. Many people are involved in Aquarius topics. And what are those? Technology, advanced topics, science, very futuristic approach, even thoughts, even information. It's a intelligent energy. It's an out there energy. wild in a way, out of the box. It's very individualistic. It likes authenticity, uniqueness. It can be promising in that. But Pluto will first bring up to the surface the stuff that is not great about Aquarius. And it also rules humanity. So I feel something either occurs with large amount of people, affecting large amount of people, could really be technology driven, why that happens. This can be power cuts, as many, I think even the Times magazine or something predicted. And, you know, it also rules the internet, Aquarius. So, internet cuts, power cut, internet cut, intertwined, right? And just very advanced technology, and Pluto's gonna show us the dark side of that and the secrets that were surrounding technologies that we either were not aware of, we didn't know they were there, or we're going to see the effects which tend to not be that great at the beginning. You know, maybe in 20 years, our awareness, thanks to Pluto, will be so advanced as well that we will have a different idea on these things. But it's likely to first come with some struggle. And this T-square to Jupiter shows us that. There's a struggle. And Jupiter, in a way, is making it bigger, making it more explosive, making it, in a way, dangerous. But I always also say a T-square is a call for action, a demand for attention. And Jupiter also being about wisdom, a higher perspective, faith, you know, higher learning. And also philosophy means that our reality is being tested in Taurus. This is also a financial component. These are all fixed signs which tend to be crisis driven. And if we look at this pattern from an evolutionary astrology standpoint, we look at the other side of Jupiter to see the release of this, and that is in Scorpio. It means that the release will be about cutting things out of your life. It will be radical completions and endings. It will be a psychological change, a different approach to how you see things and how you process things is what ought to occur. So different psychology needs to be implemented. Going really deep in your own patterns, psychological patterns, your own subconscious mind that is driving your behavior, your thoughts, your ideas, everything. More understanding of these deeper layers within that are either holding you back from being this powerful individual, being this bright, shiny presence, or sort of like standing more in your empowerment because of this energy. So it's either awareness of the blockages and then, you know, that's a process that eventually gets to the other place where it's finally like, I'm in my power. I'm more in control of my psychology, of my subconscious mind, just a higher awareness, which is something that Aquarius, where Pluto is focusing us on for the next 20 years, is going to be. It's about higher awareness, a higher perspective, something that Jupiter also brings in. So if you look from the higher expression, this is an opportunity to really like be this powerful presence. But if you look at it low vibration, low expression, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough reality. Taurus, where this affects, is again finances, could also be housing, because it's about properties. So it's about possessions. This could also be the kickstart of what they've kind of slowly been putting out there, which is the loss of possessions. You know, there's this theory where, how do you say that? Like sort of like a neo-communistic society is what some systems want to implement. Where there is a society where you'll not own anything, but you'll be very happy. It does sound like that, this astrology. So I hope it's not true, but this could be. And you know, lunations always affect a little longer. So even though this is a full moon, usually doesn't last that long, but could be still 6 weeks around it. And maybe because it's the kickoff related to Pluto and Aquarius, it could even last till May of this year, this lunation energy. Meaning that if it is what certain powers want to implement, this would be an excellent time to play with electricity, internet cuttings, and related to that, the loss of possessions. But, you know, again, this is why astrology is sort of relevant, because it's up to you how this energy works out. So that's low vibration, what I'm just saying. And that's still like authority and control of other people. But if you stand in your own power, in your own presence, your own energetic force, then this T-square to Jupiter is actually an invitation to be bigger, better, more successful, and changing the reality to your own tune. You know, your own leadership. And where you could decide how your possessions look, how your safety looks, how your finances look, how your basic reality looks. You know, and this is also, again, a check-in point of what matters to you, what is important, what is valuable, and to enhance that is what Jupiter is actually aiming at in its fullest expression. And if you do that, all those positive Jupiterian energies will help you, meaning protecting you, bringing the fortune and the luck you need on this path. And it could bring in a lot of wisdom around this. maybe new reality you'd like to create for yourself. But being a T-square, it could look like a lot of crumbling around you. So do not be feared by that. Like, flip it. Flip scenarios, flip emotions, you know. And that's what you can do when you have higher awareness. You can just be the observer and be like, no, I don't agree with this. I'm not going to follow this paradigm. I'm not going to put myself and all this powerful energy that I am into the storyline. I'm not going to do that. Bam, cut off, end, full moon. But Leo full moon is being bigger, brighter yourself. And if you're not fully there, this is a checking in point of how you can be more like that for yourself. How you can be more expressive, more of a leader, more fantastically you. On the background, but very involved, like literally behind this T-square, we find a yod, which is the finger of God, right? Oh, it's sorry, no, it's very involved with this lunation. The finger of God is pointing at the moon in Leo. There is a divine purpose to your being. Of course it is. There is a divine purpose to your shine, to be that expressive, to be this unique light that only you can bring. That's why you were born into this reality, right? So the challenge in life is to be more of that, to grow more into your own essence, and to leave all the stuff that is not you, that you've been told, to throw that out. You know? Bigger, brighter, better. That's this lunation for sure. And the yod is working with Venus in Capricorn, which is a serious, determined energy, disciplined, building, mastering the material world. And it's working with its master, the leader of Capricorn, which is Saturn in Pisces. So there's a sextile between Venus and Saturn. And close to it, we also find Hygeia to Saturn. So Saturn in Pisces with this is very about spiritual hygiene. It's about mastering this reality in this material world, but also realizing from that level and up that you're more than that. That's only an element of truth and reality. And the real reality above that is much more advanced, much vaster, much greater. Because you're a soul. You're much more than just this life and just this reality. So this is about understanding that you are that soul. This is about understanding your spirit, your energy, and stepping up into that and being the healing force in your life and being the healing force around you in this reality. And maybe that will bring us from into an evolved reality where the material is a part of it, but there's more. And the Saturn working with Venus could be that. And it's working with bringing more soul into our love life, into our finances, into that material reality, into the systems that Pluto has been, you know, destructing since 2008. Maybe new people to astrology might not be aware, but Capricorn and Aquarius have similarities because they were both ruled by Saturn before Uranus was discovered. So what people sometimes forget about Capricorn is that it is very much about authenticity too. That is the test of Saturn. To also become more you. And to really peel those onion layers of society and all that stuff. Even, you know, cultural stories and, you know, family obligations and all that needs to be peeled off until you come into the essence of, but who are you? Who are you? And all those things do not really matter because it doesn't matter. That's just the theater of it all. And that's Leo, theater. We're in a play. It's a theater show. But then, what is the role that you want to play? How do you want to be more playful? How can you be more childlike, which will bring joy and pleasure into your life and into this world? Energy is contagious. This is a big spiritual soul energy that's occurring during this lunation. And it's just, yeah, shining more, bigger, better, and brighter. Very Leo energy, okay? So I hope you really step into that. To be as bold as a full moon can also be. And in the background, there is this tough energy as well. The nodes are, you know, our soul evolution, our purpose in life, our karma, our dharma. And so therefore it's related to what I just been explaining about the yacht and stuff, that, you know, there's a soul perspective being brought, you know, the spirit understanding, the higher awareness that's being brought into it during this lunation for sure. Like it's really, these energies are heightened. This frequency is stepping up, you know. And so this dharma karma of the nodes are also T-squaring, just like this lunation is to Jupiter. Here, the nodes are T-squaring to Mars and Mercury in Capricorn. Again, the area that Pluto has been crumbling, right, since 2008. So there's a call for action to be more disciplined in our goals, to be very motivational in what we want, and to follow that beat of our own drum, you know? And you know, all this energy, I have to say, it's very, very musical. You know, Leo is about singing and music and on stage. Pisces, where this Saturn and Venus are playing with, Pisces can be very musical too. And so is Venus, as it rules Taurus, the throat. Mars and Mercury at this degree in Capricorn is you know, the Lyra constellation, which is music. So to me, it sounds like whatever you do around this lunation, music plays a big role. And perhaps just like me, you're interested in singing more. And that would be an excellent energy. Or, you know, making some kind of music, even like whistling or listening to music would be great, specifically for this lunation. So there's a bit of like a change of how we do things, what we do things, because we have to check in first with this lunation, as I said, of what is important. What do we want? What is valuable? Okay, that's the main question due to the T-square to Jupiter in Taurus. These are Taurian questions. And I think in that sense, this T-square with the nodes and Mars and Mercury is related to it. So this is why the cosmos is sending us these frequencies, because once you answer what is valuable to you, it kind of changes what your actions, your motivations, your plans, your strategy. You have to adjust. You know, your mental self, your physical self, represented by Mercury, Mars, and your call for action, Mars, has to be changed according to those answers, according to what truly matters, what is highly important for you. And when you look at it from the higher perspective and the spiritual self, it changes your soul's purpose. And that's, I think, why this energy is also strong, but it can be experienced as not being able to move, or like difficulties, and you know, also just maybe some, you know, feeling a bit lost mentally, physically, and just a lot of triggers because Chiron is involved here. So not knowing exactly what to do, and like the struggle of that, but the struggle is to find the truth of it, is to find your own direction and leadership in your life. That's why sometimes things come as a struggle, for you to gain the awareness of what's worth it to you, you know, to realize some things. So it's an intense full moon. It's a powerful full moon. And it's time to step up. It's time to enhance your awareness and to change your behavior accordingly. And it's just so simple. It's just being more you. You are the factor that changes everything. You've been lied to that one person doesn't matter. That's a lie. You are the change. You being your unique self is going to blow up everything. So happy full moon in Leo, and I'll see you in the next lunation situation. Bye. Take care.